I'm Sophia, 28 years old, living in a small apartment tucked away in the chaos of this noisy city. On the outside, I have everything: a steady job as a content writer, friends who check in, and a family that loves me. But on the inside, I feel empty. It's like I'm going through the motions of life without truly living. My apartment is comfortable, yet it feels like a cage, and every day the noise of the city reminds me of how disconnected I am from everything around me. My relationship with my parents is strained, filled with unresolved tension. It's like we're all strangers to each other, and I don't know how to fix it. As for my friends, I keep them at arm's length, never letting anyone too close. I want more, a life that's full of passion, something that makes my heart race, but I'm stuck, torn between staying safe and the fear of reaching for something greater. I dream of adventure, but every time I try, doubt pulls me back. I can't shake the feeling that I'm missing something. I don't know how to change it, but I know I can't keep living like this. It was just another ordinary day, the kind of day where nothing stands out. I was sitting at my desk, the hum of the city outside my window blending with the noise of my thoughts. Same routine, same feelings of being stuck. But then, everything changed. The phone rang. I glanced at the screen, an unknown number. At first, I thought nothing of it, but something made me pick up. Hello? My voice felt small, unsure. A man's voice came through the line, deep and calm, with a strange urgency that caught me off guard. Sophia, I have a proposal for you, he said, his tone almost too serious. A business arrangement, marriage for money. My first thought was, this is a prank, right? I almost hung up, but something in his voice stopped me. There was sincerity there. A strange sincerity that made me pause. He went on, explaining how we could both benefit. A large sum of money, he said, if I agreed. The idea sounded absurd. How could someone just offer that? But I couldn't shake the feeling that maybe this was the opportunity I had been waiting for. My heart raced as excitement mixed with doubt. Think it over, he said before the call ended. I sat there, the phone still in my hand, the words echoing in my mind. Could I trust this man? What was the catch? I felt an uneasy tension in my chest. Part of me wanted to push this away, but another part wanted to know more. Could this strange offer change my life? I had no idea what to do next. For the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about the call. The weight of that proposal pressed down on me like a fog I couldn't shake. Every moment felt like I was being pulled in two directions, the comfortable life I knew and the chance at something bigger. I didn't know what to do. I tried talking to my friends, but no one really understood. Rachel, my closest friend, was the first to notice how distracted I was. She could tell something was off. Sophia, are you seriously considering this? A marriage for money? That's insane, she said, her voice full of concern. You don't know anything about this guy. You could be putting yourself in danger. But even as she said it, a part of me felt the exact opposite. The fear was there, yes, but there was also a strange pull, like I was on the verge of something that could change my life. The more Rachel warned me, the more I questioned myself. What if I was overthinking it? What if this was the opportunity I had been waiting for? What if it wasn't just about the money? The thought of financial freedom haunted me. I stared at my bank account, the number barely enough to cover the bills, let alone any dreams. I imagined a life without that constant worry, traveling without hesitation, enjoying the little luxuries that always seemed out of reach. The money he promised could give me that, could give me a chance to finally break free from this cycle I'd been stuck in for years. But then there was the fear. The fear of stepping into something I didn't fully understand, something I couldn't control. What if I was walking straight into a trap? What if Max was hiding something darker behind that calm, reassuring voice? The tension inside me grew as I wrestled with these thoughts. Should I trust him? Could I risk it all for something that seemed too good to be true? When I finally met Max, it only complicated things further. The moment he walked into the coffee shop, I felt an undeniable presence, like he was someone who knew exactly what he wanted. He was charming, articulate, and made everything sound so easy. He reassured me that everything would be legally sound, that there was nothing to worry about. But even as he spoke, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. His eyes, there was something there, a flicker, something that didn't match the calm exterior. It was like he was hiding something. Every time he smiled or spoke confidently, I couldn't stop wondering if there was a darker side to this proposal. Was it really just about money, or was there something else he wasn't telling me? The more I learned about him, the more questions I had. I wanted to trust him, but every instinct in me screamed to be cautious. What was I getting myself into? Was this the kind of chance I could risk, or was it a decision that would haunt me forever? I didn't know if I could make it through this, but I also didn't know if I could walk away. The day of the wedding had arrived, and it felt like everything was moving in slow motion. My heart raced in my chest, pounding so loudly I thought everyone could hear it. The dress, the flowers, the people, it all seemed like a blur. Like I wasn't really there, like I was watching someone else's life unfold. A wedding should be about love, about joy, but all I felt was dread. I stood in front of the mirror, staring at my reflection, wondering how I'd gotten here. I had agreed to this crazy, impossible situation. And now, as I walked down the aisle, it was all too real. The floor beneath me felt like it was made of glass, ready to shatter at any moment. I wasn't just walking to marry a man. I was walking into a life that might tear everything apart. Just as the ceremony was about to start, Mac's lawyer suddenly pulled me aside. My stomach dropped. What now? His voice was low, serious, almost too calm. "There's something you need to know," he said, his eyes darting around the room. "This marriage isn't just for money. There's a far bigger, far more dangerous deal tied to it. Max, he's been hiding his true intentions." I felt my world tilt. I was frozen, unable to move or even think. Everything I had believed, everything I had convinced myself of, suddenly felt like a lie. Max wasn't the man I thought he was. I had no idea what I was walking into, and now I was trapped in something much darker than I could have ever imagined. I had two choices: walk away and lose everything, or continue and risk my life for something I barely understood. The weight of it crushed me. This wasn't just a mistake. This was a life-altering decision, and I had to make it in the next few moments. In that instant, something in me snapped. The fear, the anger, the betrayal all collided inside me. I couldn't just stand there and let this happen. I wasn't going to be a pawn in someone else's game. I had made too many compromises already. Without thinking, I turned to Max, my voice trembling with emotion. "Tell me the truth, Max. What is this really about? What am I getting into?" My heart was pounding, but I wasn't backing down. Not anymore. The look in his eyes shifted. It was like I had pulled back the curtain and suddenly everything was exposed. He wasn't expecting this, and as he opened his mouth to speak, I realized this was only the beginning. What I learned next would change everything. The confrontation with Max changed everything. It shook me to my core, but somehow it also woke something inside me. The truth. The ugly, painful truth about his motives was more than I could have ever prepared for. But in that moment, something shifted. I wasn't the same person I was before. I had faced my fears, my doubts, and I was standing tall. I realized that even though I made a mistake, even though I let myself get tangled in something I didn't fully understand, I could still take control. I could still change my future. The marriage didn't bring me the happiness I'd hoped for, but it gave me something more powerful. The clarity to see what truly mattered. Looking back, I realize I was afraid of making the wrong choice, afraid of being vulnerable. But that vulnerability, that fear, it wasn't a weakness. It was part of the journey. It taught me to trust myself, to not be defined by past mistakes. As I move forward, I feel a sense of peace. My future is mine, and I've learned to embrace it with hope. My path isn't set in stone anymore. I have the power to shape it, and that's all that matters now. If you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.